Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this beautiful two-tone bronzy skull. Hey guys, so to start with I'm going to use some witch hazel on my eyebrows to remove any sunscreen or any skincare products because I don't want any oil on my skin, because I'm going in with the Elmers Glue stick. I'm going to use this just to flatten my eyebrows, and it is purple on appearance, but as it dries down it goes completely clear. So if you actually have very unruly brows, then you could use this as a very affordable option to achieve fluffy brows instead of paying an absolute fortune for some of the clear brow gels that do the exact same job as, say, Pear Soap or Elmer's Glue. The little brush I'm using here is actually a tooth flossing brush. It's a TP1 and I like to use this because it has tiny bristles, so it really does coat every hair. I've obviously over applied than what you would do if you were using this for every day, but I really want them completely flat, and I almost want the glue to be sort of thick enough to sit in between the hairs so it's a bit flatter, so that when the makeup goes on it's a bit more seamless. So I'm just fanning in between the two layers that I'm applying, and now they're completely flat. So I'm going to go in now and map out the shape of the skull. I'm using this white pencil by Kryolan. It's a face liner pencil, which means you can use it anywhere on the body to draw, or you can use it as a white eyeliner. This is one I always reach for when I'm doing FX makeup. I like it because it's light enough to give me that perfect guide but not disturb the makeup that's going to go on top. I do already have a couple of skull makeup tutorials. I have a Grim Reaper, which I did on one of Tommy's brothers, and then I have another skull which I did on myself, and this one today is more bronzy, has that two-tone effect, so it is a little bit different, but I am using my previous video as a guide for the shape of the skull. What's great about using a pencil like this is that if you make a mistake, it's so simple just to wipe away with your finger, as opposed to going straight in, maybe freehanding it, or going in with a paint, because that is difficult if you make a mistake, whereas using a light coloured pencil like this is easy to remove off of the skin if you need to readjust the shape that you're creating. As you can see here with the line, I'm just wiping it away with my finger, and it's that simple to remove. I am drawing up here, but you won't see it because I will have a headpiece and a wig on. If you want to see how I made the headpiece, you can check out my short which I uploaded here on the channel. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to start with the ZOEVA kohl pencil, which I'm going to apply on the waterline. The best way forward when you're working on your face is to do all the impossible parts first, because getting to this area is going to be more difficult when you've already done all your face makeup. And I like to work from the top down, that way you won't need to lean on the bottom half of your face to get to the top half. Okay, so we're going to start with the eyes. I'm going in with this black Superstar face paint. This is one of my favourite face paints. They're affordable and the pigment payoff and the intensity of the black is incredible. The skull shape that I like to create for the eyes is a little bit more sinister, so when you're looking dead straight ahead you can see there's a bit of a arc to it. It almost gives a bit more of a sinister feel to it. However, if you want your skull to be a bit more friendly looking, you can leave out these kind of sharper edges and you can make the eyes more rounded. The brushes I'm using are Bdellium tools, and I get them from the Makeup Armoury. Next up, I'm going in with another Superstar paint. Now this is a trust the process part because this is a very warm antique gold shade. I love that it's very, very shiny. This is what gives this kind of skull almost like a glow, which I love, and it's all about layering. So this is going to be the base colour that we lay down, and then we're going to be going over this with another colour. I feel like this is really important to lay down first because it gives it that shine from underneath, which is what ends up giving it that two-toned effect. This also results in you not needing to do quite as much shading. This will sit closer to the edges, the golder colours will sit in the middle, and then there'll be a white on top, so you'll get a really nice gradient between these shades. As I mentioned earlier, you kind of want to work from the top down. I don't always do that, but it is my advice because it is easier. Because there's a lot more going on with this particular skull than my previous one, I am going to work predominantly on the top half first and then work my way down so that I don't keep leaning on the bottom half of my face and then printing it on the top half. This is one of my favourite products to work with. This is the Mehron metallic powder with the mix-in liquid. I use this on a lot of editorial shoots. It is the most reflective gold, and over the top of this antique gold it is beautiful. It's a very opaque, water resistant formula. You can shear it down so it's more of a wash. You can make it more opaque and do drippy effects. It's just such a great versatile product, and it comes in loads of different metallic shades. I actually use this on the headpiece, so that's why I wanted to use it on top of the antique gold so that it would match the headpiece. You can see that the antique gold, even though it is a face paint, it's really resistant to anything that's going on top. It's not made it wishy-washy and it's not broke it down. We're now going to take a white cream. This one is from the Makeup Armory. It's a MAC Pro palette. You can also use a Kryolan cream. And I'm going to use a cream because it's easier to work in rather than a white paint, which will be quite stark and it will have a bit more of a harsh edge, whereas a cream you can really work into the skin. This is going on the high points of the skull, almost to make it look more three-dimensional, and this is really where it starts to look more like a two-tone effect, and it gives a glowy finish, which is really nice because obviously that gold underneath really shines through. You'll start to see a gradient happening where the antique gold is right around the very edges of the skull. That then meets the classic gold, and then you have the white on the centre, which creates that three-dimensional effect. When you're working with creams, it's definitely best to use a stipple motion. This creates the best blend. It also means you don't disturb the base makeup. However, the products that we do have on that are layered underneath this white aren't going anywhere. They are waterproof, water resistant, they don't shift. The Mehron paint itself is the one that's the most durable, but because we have layered face paint on the skin first, it does make this a lot easier to remove. I'm now going in with a Superstar face paint in the white shade. We're going to use this as a base highlight. So this is going around the perimeter of the eye sockets, around the nose, and anywhere you want a more obvious highlight shade. We're not going to leave it white, we will be topping this with the Mehron Gold, but having this underneath the Mehron Gold means it's going to stand out a little bit more obviously, which is what we want. We want this to look like a rim that's catching the light. I'm using my Bdellium Tools brush. I will try and list and link all those brushes below. You can get them from the Makeup Armory. Now we've added a highlight, we want to go in and create some shadow. You can use a eyeshadow to do this. I'm using a mix of a brown and black together so that it's still on the bronzy spectrum, but it adds that shadow because the black's in there, so it creates a nice depth of colour. The placement for this is always going to be just below the highlight shade. That way you get that really nice three-dimensional effect. The best thing you can do is look at skulls, look at other people's drawings, paintings, artwork of skulls, and have a look at where the highlights and shadows sit. You don't want to apply this darker shade all around the circumference of the eye socket, otherwise you lose what you're trying to achieve, which is to make it look like a skull. And even though this looks quite dark, you will still see that bronziness coming through. What I love about this look is it's almost like an antique skull. You'll notice that I apply the colour and then I blend it out, and I use the brush that's got a little bit of the cream on it, because if you bounce over an eyeshadow with a cream it will create a nice gradient, even though technically when it comes to applying a powder over a cream when you're doing regular makeup, that tends to not work so well because it goes patchy. When you're working in small areas like we're doing with the shading, the cream will work in your favour. You can see I'm applying the same techniques around the nose. So we've applied the white highlight paint, then we've gone over that with the gold, then we're applying a little bit of eyeshadow around the edges to make it look more like a lip. And now I'm applying some of the black eyeshadow around the edging of the skull around the forehead just to give it some shape, and then I'm bouncing over that with my brush that has a little bit of the cream left in it. I'm applying some black down my neck. You will probably want to apply a couple of layers of this so it's not wishy-washy, and then I'll come back to it at the end just to apply some very lazy vertebrae paintwork down the centre. Off camera I've done the opposite side of my face just for ease, so this side I'm going to basically copy it and just show you what I did. Here I'm filling in the black area of the jaw where there's negative space, and I'm just trying to make sure that they're sitting at the same level on both cheeks. Now obviously when you turn to the side and you fill your cheeks, your molars would be visible if you took your cheeks away on this area that I'm painting now. However, we want the skull to look more aesthetically pleasing, so we make out that the teeth are all front on. So just paint this area black in the shape that the jaw kind of sits, and then we're going to be painting the teeth in white on the front. This is just a really quick way to give the appearance of teeth. You could spend hours making them look as realistic as possible, but nobody's got time for that. So just painting this area and create white stripes going up as if the root of the teeth is visible. And then for the bottom teeth, don't worry about making them smaller than the top teeth, because again, we just don't have time for that. As the teeth get towards the back half, those white stripes get a little bit thinner. This helps to give the illusion that the teeth are arced. I'm now just adding some gold around the top half of the jaw because I didn't really fill this in earlier, and now I'm using a small fine liner brush just to paint in some black areas to create some shadow around the teeth and some shadow around the root area. And then to make it look softer, I'm switching to black eyeshadow because that blends a little bit easier and it gives a softer appearance. As I said, you really can spend a long time making them look as realistic as possible, but it really does take a lot of time. So for me, I just like to do something that resembles teeth, but it isn't too perfect or too neat because I just don't have the time for it. I also quite like the sketchy appearance of them. So now I'm going to work on the bottom half of the jaw. So again, we're going straight in with the antique gold because we're going to layer exactly the same way we did with the top half of the skull. Give that a couple of minutes to dry, then go in with a layer of the Mehron gold. While that's drying, I'm going in around the top half of the skull with a little bit more of the white. Now that the teeth are in place, I wanted to go in and emphasize a bit more of the white bone on the actual skull. That way it wouldn't look like the teeth are overly bright compared to the rest of the face. We're going to repeat this on the jaw. So again, we've got that antique gold around the very perimeter, which then softly blends into the classic gold, and then we have the white on top. And then we're going to go in with a little bit more shading close to the edging of the jawline. I'm taking a bit of the brown eyeshadow around the bottom half of the teeth, and then taking a little bit of the black mixed in to create added depth. We then want to go in with some of the white paint just to add a little bit more of a definitive highlight. So for this area here, for instance, I'm painting a little bit of white here. It makes that area look a little bit more beveled, as if it's slightly rounded. And I'm just continuing to add a little bit of shading around the jaw and a bit more white here at the front, because this area would be the most prominent. I also wanted to add a little bit right at the very top of the forehead, even though you're not necessarily going to see this area. And then I'm adding a couple of cracks into the skull. You don't have to do this, I just feel like it always adds to that creepiness as it is a Halloween look. And now I'm just going in with a little bit more of the Mehron gold in powder form rather than liquid, and I'm dusting that over the teeth. Because the whole look has that gold vibe, the teeth kind of stand out without having that antique gold underneath. So dusting this over the top just really pulls the look together, it looks more cohesive. For this part, I am going to be super duper lazy. I'm very sorry. I'm just painting the most basic of basic vertebrae, and I'm not even going all the way down, and then I'm just going to put a t-shirt over my chest. It's really bad. I'm sorry. I've made all this effort and then fell at the last hurdle. So I've laid down the antique gold over the black, which you can see goes on so nicely over black. These paints are beautifully opaque. Then I went over with the Mehron gold, and now I'm stippling over the white just so everything's really cohesive. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of basic shading, and that really is all that's to it. It's so simple and very effective considering it's like seconds. It literally takes seconds to do. Ideally I would have taken it all the way down my chest, but at this stage I honestly couldn't be bothered to do any more. I'm so sorry. So I just popped on a black t-shirt. But if you have a costume, that would be ideal. You can see how I made the headpiece on my short, and this is what it looks like with just my hair, which I also quite like because it kind of goes with the same colour as my hair. I will list and link as many of the products as I've used in the description bar. Please give the tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it because it really helps with the algorithm. Come follow me outside of YouTube over on Instagram where I'm most active, and I will see you next week. Bye guys!